Hi Scorpio, I hope that you're all doing well. This reading is going to be about what will be unfolding for you over the next 4 days. The first card that we have out is Judgment. And Page of Cups. Judgment can be a time where you're going to be taking a closer look at something. So Judgment is kind of like this moment where the truth becomes imperative and that we want to be able to like really look at something and to understand it and evaluate it and size it up and cut to the center of it and understand the different pieces and sides. And so that process is going to be happening. What is that going to be happening with? We have the Page of Cups here. This can be something having to do with your feelings. It can be messages that you're receiving, your intuition, something that you're sensing within. An experience that you're having. There can be some type of grounding, steadying, centering that's necessary. All water energy, Page of Cups, King of Cups, Five of Cups. Okay. So Page of Cups is feeling to me like the actual feelings that you're having. So Judgment is going to be taking a closer look, like peering in. You can see what something is on the surface level, but you want to see what's going on behind that. Where is it coming from? What was the catalyst for this? So that's going to be like a deep dive that will be happening. And this is something that will also give you a sense of control over your experience as well, rather than this feeling like something that's just happening to you and you're at the mercy of this. This is going to feel like you're actually the one that's navigating through this, and you're actually the one that's controlling where you're going and sort of where you are steering the ship on the water. Then having King of Cups, this feels like the way that you're going to be sort of dealing with whatever this is that you find, whatever this is that you discover. There's going to be sort of an organized fashion with which you handle this, with which you move forward. As this is happening, I'm seeing a Five of Cups looking towards you. So the way that this seems almost is that you are dealing with something that's coming up here that you can feel like, I really need to look at this, I really need to understand it. And I think that there's going to be more of a sense of empowerment within this, because having Five of Cups on the outside almost feels like this feeling of sadness, of like something went wrong or regret, something like that is almost like wanting to come through and permeate your process. And I feel like if you do things in this way, you're going to be able to transmute the energy, and then I don't even think that you're going to have to experience this Five of Cups. This feels like you're going to be able to break through it. Like, it just feels like something that can feel at first with the Five of Cups like something that sort of weighs you down, and then by you cutting through this, you like split it in half and like throw it off of you, that it's not something that has to weigh you down. And Five of Cups is going to be anywhere where we are having a hard time accepting things as they are. This can also be too like not allowing your disappointment to take over, or not allowing your sadness to like totally capsize things for you. Because this feels like some type of heavy emotional labor that you've been experiencing. doing your best to make moves and try to break through this stressful period within your life, and trying to move more towards your liberation, to open yourself up to the possibilities. I get this sense with Ten of Wands, like you've had to put so much work in, and this Knight of Pentacles feels like the part of you that is on this track where you're thinking, if I put in all of this work, it's going to have to amount to something. And I think that something that this is going to amount to will take the pressure off, make things easier for me, that it's going to allow me to cross a threshold where things aren't going to have to be this difficult, things aren't going to have to be this hard, things aren't going to have to be so heavy, it's not going to be so exhausting, it's not going to take so much energy. So there's this like desire to break through that threshold and to move to a place where there's a sense of freedom and liberation, that when you're in the Ten of Wands, you can feel not feeling that. You can feel like it's just work and work and work. And then Knight of Pentacles is going to be that time where you're in that liminal space of there's the work here and the freedom here, and you sort of breaking through to this other side of things where there's that lightness and like everything just folds and like drops off of you. It like peels off. And then you can feel like you can stand up without having that weight on you. I get the feeling too with Judgment and Ten of Wands that there's even something that's going on right now that needs to be looked at. Ten of Wands is going to be the stuff that you have going on right now that's stressing you out the most. And this actually feels like more so emotional stuff that's going on, having this Five of Cups here. With the Ten of Wands, this is the stuff that is feeling like it is taking the most energy and can be feeling overwhelming, can be feeling stressful, can feel draining. Having Judgment above it is needing to get to the bottom of like, what is this immense stress? There's some like a closer look that needs to be needing to look more closely at this Ten of Wands. And Ten of Wands is that feeling of you're about to have that breakthrough. This just needs to be looked at. Can we clarify this actually? I think it's anything that's not allowing you to move forward swiftly. It's like the stuff that can be holding you down, the stuff that can be delaying you, the heaviness that you can be feeling. We start with Judgment and we end with Two of Swords. Two of Swords means that something isn't totally being seen here. And why would that be happening? Because we have Five of Cups. So basically what happens within this process, to like explain it and give understanding to the cards that we have here, when we have Five of Cups appears when something is going on and we're having a hard time coming to terms with that. And so then this division occurs. It's that part of us that's resistant to accepting things as they are and starts not allowing us to see things as they are because of this part of us that's resistant to seeing that. Meaning, if my hand is in front of me and I can see my hand in front of me, but I'm having feelings about my hand being in front of me, it's like these feelings basically like manifest this other reality that is going to put a lens or like a film over my hand, and so I can no longer see my hand anymore. I'm just seeing this thing that I'm projecting onto it. And then there can be this sort of missing the point of things or not seeing things clearly. And so that resistance can create a cloudiness. That resistance can create a, like I'm so focused on not accepting something as it is that I can't see it presently as it is. Because I feel like saying don't want to makes it seem like it's more of a choice, and I do believe that this is something that's more unconscious that's going on here that you're becoming aware of. Having Page of Cups is the Fool is the part of you that wants to connect. You want to tune in. You want to feel. That is your natural state. However, when we have 10 of Wands and 5 of Cups, it can indicate that there is so much stuff that hasn't been processed, and so much, I'm getting confirmation of this, it's so much stuff that hasn't been processed that it doesn't allow us to see things as they really are anymore. That all of that resistance is getting in the way of us seeing the truth, and the judgment is the thing that's going to clear that out. Judgment will help you cut to the center of it. But there's a reason why you haven't gotten there yet. There's a reason, and it's because of, sometimes with 5 of Cups, it can be like, if I really accept things as they are, there's a part of me that almost feels like, I don't know if I'm psychologically prepared for that, to accept that, because of what that means. And so it becomes this thing where, like, out of a sense of fear and disappointment and not wanting to let go, we hold ourselves in that, we sort of like suspend ourselves. And so you're in the past, and then you're also kind of in the present, but you're not really in either of them fully or completely, and so you're sort of suspended between the two with the 5 of Cups, which doesn't allow you to see things presently as they actually are, because of the filter over things, because of the past stuff that hasn't totally been reconciled. And this feels like, at this point, it's like really stressing you out. It's a catalyst of stress within your life. What this means too, though, is that when we have expectations and something doesn't go the way that we thought that it would, when we refuse to accept that, by like, it shouldn't have been like that, it was supposed to be different, I thought that things were gonna go this way, that whole like train of thought, when we're doing that, we're still in a place where we haven't accepted it, which means that we don't have to admit that things didn't go that way. And so it can sort of protect us. At the same time, it doesn't allow you to see things as they are, and then you're not able to work with the current energies. So this is something that keeps you from being able to work with the current energies. And I'm seeing something currently going on, and then that creates stress, because you know that you're not seeing things, you know that you're not working with the current energy, and you're trying to figure out how to get to the point where you can work with the current energy. But there's this feeling of like still being suspended. It's like when you're in a dream and you're trying to run, but like the gravity isn't working right, and so you're not really getting anywhere. It can feel like that with things. So this is about seeing, like, where are you not telling yourself the whole truth? Where is there still resistance to accepting things as they are? Where is there I need to allow for this to be what it is, what it was, so I can see things clearly now? And how do I work with my feelings? Because this is something that you can feel very deeply, and it can feel very, very difficult to have this experience where when you become emotionally involved in something, there's a lot that's going on there. And how do you remain emotionally involved while still processing your feelings? Especially ones that are difficult to process, because it feels very unpleasant because of the attachment that we have to things. But now it feels like that 5 of Cups, now it feels like that living in the past, there is more and more and more pressure, more density that this is creating. And you can feel like it's not allowing you to move through your life presently. And so taking a closer look at this to see what's going on with it. But there can definitely be This can definitely feel challenging to do because of just how intense of an experience this is. This is about cutting through and working with feelings where there is resistance, where there is like it shouldn't have happened like that, or it wasn't supposed to. Anything that is keeping you from accepting things as they have occurred. Because it feels like it's making things more difficult for you presently when things don't have to be that challenging. Things can be easier, and there can be a liberation that happens through this process, but there's going to have to be acceptance. Otherwise, this won't be able to happen. Like the process won't complete itself. So where is that resistance? Where is there still stuff that you're hanging on to where it's about what you wanted rather than how it actually was? Because Two of Swords is gonna come back to this point of like you're not seeing something totally and completely here because of having a hard time with it being like that. And so this can be a major time where you're going to go into this and you're going to be checking it out. But it can also be difficult to do because when we have high expectations or we have like a feeling of righteousness of it was supposed to be like that, it should have never happened like that, and we're staying within that train of thought, and it keeps us resistant to accepting what has occurred. It also keeps us from seeing the truth, and then it complicates things presently, because rather than that being in the past, it's still coming into the present because it hasn't been worked out. And so it's like paperwork that just builds up and builds up and builds up, and it makes it very difficult to move presently, very difficult to see things clearly presently, and to be totally emotionally present as well. And there can be things that we do too to avoid this as well. Avoid looking too closely at things. Otherwise, we're going to see something that's going to have to like make us face reality. And this can also be something that's going on too. Things that you're doing that can sort of take you out of a present space so you don't have to process this just because it's difficult, because it's challenging. Simultaneously, this is what keeps you from being freed. And that can be something that at this point there's a deeper will for that within you. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.